Hello everyone. As a formation of the technical transformation with the aid of the ICT, Information Communication Technological Tool aids, so our course we are going to transform in the formation of this technology and all. So myself, Dr. D. Prabhakar, professor, working in Department of Computer Science and Engineering at Katpam College of Engineering, and now we are enter into our course. So can you guess anyone? What is this picture is going to provide the message? Okay, so today we are going to discuss about that introduction to soft computing versus hard computing, types of soft computing techniques, introduction to artificial neural network, introduction to fuzzy logic, application of soft computing, references and assessment, along with that any queries and all. So generally, what is that soft computing is that? So in a computer system, so normally we have that computer is getting input from the user. The user is provided the input via input devices, and the input devices transform the input received from the user, and the transformation will be done via signals or broadcasting to the processing unit. The processing unit is going to process what kind of information have been received from the user, and based on that it's going to provide the output. So input, processing and output, the same concept we are going to utilization in the soft computing. In soft computing, so we are going to apply the same logic along with some mathematical concepts, so then only we have processing that results. Okay, so getting some approximation of the value and all. Okay, as a definition, soft computing is the reverse of hard computing. It refers to a group of computational techniques so that are based on artificial intelligence and natural selection. It provides cost effective solution to the complex real life problems for which hard computing solution does not exist. Antecedent, so computing is that function y equal to f of x, that will be activation of its control action, and we are providing the output based on that input we have received from that system and concern and all. So this slide is going to differentiate that differentiation between soft computing and hard computing. So basically, hard computing is that it uses preciously stated analytical model, and that soft computing is that it is tolerant to impression and certain paths and approximation. So it is based on binary logical and crispy, whereas soft computing is fuzzy logic and probabilistic reason. It has features such as precision and categoricity. It has features such as approximation and disability. So it is deterministic in nature. It is sophisticated in nature. It can work with exact input data, is ambiguous and noisy data. It performs sequential computation, it produces precise outcome, whereas subcomputing is a parallel computation. It means it's going to execute it parallelly, and it have the multi-layer architecture, and its desired output we will match with the targeted data and all. It produces approximation outcome. So what are the types of soft computing techniques? So but not limited to the we have listed the topics: basic computing, neural computing, genetics algorithm, associative memory, adaptive of reason theory, classification, clustering, probabilistic reasoning, Bayesian network. So now the introduction to artificial neural network as a part of the soft computing. These artificial neural networks play a vital role in the soft computing. So artificial neural network is an information processing system that possesses characteristics with the biological neural networks, and artificial neural network consists of a large number of highly interconnected processing elements called nodes or units or neurons. So these neurons operate in parallel. Every neuron is connected to the other neuron through the communication link, so with assigned weight which contain information about the input signal. These processing elements are called a neuron or artificial neuron. So these concept illustrated in this diagram. So in general, the signals received from the user via input and its processing the same signal is activated and broadcast to the next level, and targeted value is already assigned. We have checked with this value if meets, so we go for the weight updation. Otherwise we are going to iterate or training for each and every it gets to trained well. So how a simple neuron works? Yes, from the given figure below, there are two input neurons x1 and x2 transmitting signal to the output neuron y. The Y for receiving signal, the output neurons are connected to the output neurons over a weighted interconnection links W1 and W2. For above neuron architecture, the input net has to be calculated in the way. So Y in X1 W1 plus X2 W2, where X1 and X2 are the activation of the input neuron calculated in the way. So the output Y in the output neuron Y can be obtained by applying activations over the net input. So Y equal to f of Y in, output equal to function. So net input calculated, the function to be applied over the net input is called activated function. So next thing is that learning. So as a important thing in that artificial neural network is that classification and pattern matching. So this will be done by the three types of learning. So because of that, artificial neural networks is going to train or learn about some data or patterns. It is basically a process of by means of which a neural net adapts for adjusting or updating the connection weight in order to receive a desired response. So learning in ANN is broadly classified into three categories: supervised learning, unsupervised learning, reinforcement learning. So what is supervised learning? So supervised learning is that, for instance, in a classroom environmental, okay, so many objects are there and we are providing some data, so about some objects and all, or we are providing some information and about the objects and all. So based on that, we all work on that. As a name indicates, supervised learning is this: the teacher will be there and they are ready to help that to find out and classification done by based on the supervisor or under supervision. But unsupervised learning, there is no supervision or there is no supervisor will be provided for segregation or classification of the data sets or data patterns and all. Reinforcement learning is that as a part of that supervised learning. Okay. So based on this classification in artificial neural network, it's going to learn or something or that. For instance, so the supervised learning or unsupervised learning is that more widely used that. So based on that, we are going to work on that mathematical calculations and all, or we have a problem and we are going to solve that problem based on either supervised or unsupervised learning, and we have provided the approximation solution. So what are the terminologies of ANN? So weights are there, biases are there, threshold are there, learning rate are there. So what is weight, what is biases, threshold and learning? So these are the important terminologies in the artificial neural network. So weight is a parameter which contains information about the input signal. So Wij is the weight from processing element I, source node processing element J, destination node. So the biases stands for B, is a constant value included in the network. It's in fact seen in calculating that net input. The biases is included by adding to a component that is input vector x. That is, value will be added for the input vector x. And threshold. So threshold is a set of value used in the activation function in ANN. Based on the threshold value, the activation function are defined and output is calculated. Learning rate. The learning rate is used to control the amount of weight adjustment at each step. The training, the learning rate ranges from 0 to 1. So based on this, all the terminologies is a concept we have used in the ANN. So the simple flow chart will be given to the explanation of the previous concept and all. So we have start with the problem and initialize the weight, and we have apply the condition. Condition will be equal to we are going to check with that if the condition meets the required, that activated by the input vector. Along with that, hidden node is that activation output unit y equal to, we are going to output will be matched with the target value. If the target value match with that, we are going to do the weight updation. So weight updation will the using of the formula wi equal to nu equal to wi old of input vector along with the output vector. And if not meet that, we are going to update in the biases. So b equal to nu equal to b of fold plus. So this is biases we have used there. In the clue we have used of that biases, that means it's a supervised learning. If the bias is not used of that, we go for the clustering approach, that will be unsupervised learning is there. So next we have turned into the topic introduction to fuzzy logic. Fuzzy logic is a form of multi-valued logic to deal with reasoning, so that is approximation rather than the braces. Fuzzy logic variables may have a truth value, the range between zeros and 1, and is not constrained to the two truth values of classical propositional logic, imprices and vague data. Fuzzy logic system decisions. Okay. So now we have entered into the application of soft computing. So what are the application of soft computing? It is widely used in gaming products like poker and checker, in kitchen appliances such as microwave and rice cooker, in most used home appliances, washing machine, heater, refrigerator and AC as well. As apart from all these usage, it is also used in robotics work, emotional per robot form, image processing and data compression are also popular application of soft computing, used for handwriting recognition. So these are the reference we have used to prepare this presentation and all. Any queries belongs to this topic, you can ask now. So thank you for your patience and all. So thank you.